when I say think through your own solutions, is don't give another country, which is clearly a competitive country, a veto over our policy choices. On the one hand, you have people whose sets of policies bring the two together. And then you say, beware of them coming together. Russia is turning more to Asia or to parts of the world which are not West. I think it makes sense to give Russia multiple options.
What is the settling point of the relationship between China and India? Is there a settling point? What if the China-Russia relationship strengthens? What if it doesn't turn out in the way that India hopes?
Here's the problem. Both of us are rising, obviously at a different pace with different starting points. I think the Chinese started off earlier, much more intensively and robustly than we did. But it's in the nature of things that, at some stage everybody flattens out, so there'll be a period where they'll be flattening out and we'll be growing. I'm not in denial of, what the numbers today suggest, but if one looks, for example, at the Goldman Sachs prediction, which is that we'll both really, by about 2075, end up as $50 trillion economy plus, and will be the two closest to each other. Now, the international relations version of that issue would be, if both of us are moving vis-a-vis each other and vis-a-vis the world, how do we construct an equilibrium? That there will be occasions when one or the other would want to change, to do something to press home a particular advantage, and the other will resist it. Here's the immediate issue, which is, from the 1980s, really, late 80s, we had an understanding on the border, precisely because it suited both of us. Now, there was a departure after after 30 years, a departure on their side in terms of how they behaved on the border. And there's a pushback from our side. So I think management, arriving at equilibriums, then maintaining those, refreshing those, is going to be one of the biggest challenges for both countries. It's not going to be easy. The bit which, the mind games which will be played would be, it's just between the two of us. There's nobody, the other 190 odd countries in the world don't exist in our relationship. That will be the mind game which will be played. I don't think we should play it. Because if there are other factors out there in the world which can be harnessed by me to get better terms on an equilibrium, why should I forego that right? So part of, today, when I say think through your own solutions, is don't give another country, which is clearly a competitive country, a veto over our policy choices. And unfortunately, in the past, that has happened from time to time. So we should be confident enough to leverage the international system to create the best possible outcome. Your second issue, Russia-China. It's kind of funny. On the one hand, you have people whose sets of policies bring the two together. And then you say, beware of them coming together. So, okay, I can see the reality out there, but I think it's very much in certainly in Indian national interest, but I would suggest actually in global interest, that when Russia, what's happened today with Russia is essentially a lot of doors have been shut to Russia and the West. Okay, we know the reasons why. Russia is turning more to Asia or to parts of the world which are not West. Now, I think it makes sense to give Russia multiple options. if we railroad Russia into a single option and say, that's really bad because that's the outcome, then you are making it a kind of a self-fulfilling prophecy. So today, I think it's important for other countries, especially in Asia, to engage Russia, to remind Russia. And look, Russia is a power with an enormous tradition of statecraft. Such powers would never put themselves, into a single relationship of a overwhelming nature. It would go against their grain.